right? So, hi. It's been a while. I realized that a few weeks ago that it's been a while since I made a video, and I wanted to make another one, but then I just didn't get around to it. Kind of busy. But I did write a little thing finally, like a little script for my videos this time. So instead of me just, talking at a camera, I can kind of look and see what I want to say next. So, again, I realized it's been a long time since I made a video, and I was wondering what I should do my video on, and I decided to do it on some mid-year advice for future CBYXers. So mid-year was about 2 weeks ago, I think now. And last Saturday, 5 months from last Saturday, we're going to be leaving. So, I just thought I'd like to share a few things that, I've learned in this program and, that may help other people in the future, because again, when I was first applying to CBYX, I was really, really confused, about, what I should do, just everything. Even though they've said some things, nobody really gave me a helping hand in trying to figure out this whole thing. So that's where I'm gonna start. Just for anyone who's gonna need it and they feel like they're not prepared enough. Yay, here it is. Okay. So my first piece of advice here is that what you're feeling is okay, no matter what it is. Whether you're feeling, happy, whether you don't miss your family or your friends at all, or if you do, all of it is completely normal, and everyone has their own experience here. I know they tell you that, but I don't think you really believe it, but everyone does have their own experience here, and everyone reacts to things differently because you're different people. So if you don't miss your family, or if you miss them a lot, or if you don't miss, home, or if you miss your home a lot, all of that is completely normal for you. The thing is that when it gets too bad, if you miss them too bad, then that becomes a problem. Homesickness can sometimes look a little bit like depression in a way, I think. You just don't want to do anything, you're tired all of the time, etc., etc. But that was just for me. It could look completely different for other people. They could be angry or something like that. Everyone's experience is different. The second thing I'd like to say is don't come in with any expectations. That is such a hard thing to do. Even I was like, okay, no expectations. I had that in my head the entire time. And you still come in with some expectations, no matter how it is. But I suggest it takes a while to get rid of those expectations. So as soon as you start getting rid of them. Just erase the entire thing in your head, and it's really hard to get rid of expectations. But if you don't, then you're gonna end up with some things that are not what you wanted, not what you expected, and that can lead to some culture shock maybe, or just an overall bad experience. So if you're just really open to what the year's gonna hit you with, then you're gonna feel a lot better. My third piece of advice is the harshest critic of you is yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. When you mess up your German, it's a thing that happens. Everyone messes up their German. I do it all the time. Sometimes when I'm sick or when I'm really tired, I cannot speak German. I just blurt out a bunch of words and hope that people understand me. No one is expecting that much of you. You're an American exchange student, and everyone knows that Americans can't speak German, right? But yeah, so no one is expecting that much of you. You're the one who's expecting that much of yourself. So do as much as you think you can on that day, and just and be happy with what you're accomplishing every day. No one is judging you along with that. Honestly, again, you're an American exchange student. Like, if you do things a little weird, then they're just gonna be like, oh, that's the Americans for you. Um, you can kind of blame that on your Americanness sometimes. If you do something weird, just be like, oh, in America we do it like this, even if that's not very much true. I sometimes do that, not like in a big way, but like just a little bit, like, oh, I messed up on something, I'm like, oh, in the US we do that way. So and even if they are judging you, you're never gonna see them again after these 10 months. Like, or even for some people, because they switch host families, are like, you're not even gonna see them for less time. So even if they are judging you, it's like whatever, Along with that, it's completely normal to switch host families. I know a bunch of people who have switched host families before. And that's just, sometimes people don't know how it's going to work out until you're there, And it's like, you can't tell how people are going to react to each other when they're an ocean away, and they've never met. So it's okay. If you need to switch host families, then that's all right. It's just a thing that happens, and it's part of your experience. Another thing that I'm going to say is that you're going to be tired all the time. That obviously, because you're learning another language, you may even be immersed in it 24/7, like I am pretty much. And you're doing schoolwork in another language. That is so hard and so exhausting on your brain. You may even space out a lot in class because you're just so tired. And that's okay. Make sure to take time for yourself and make sure to take care of yourself. And when you're tired, then say that you're tired, but don't make yourself a hermit. So sometimes, even if you are tired, if you haven't seen your host family in days, then maybe you should go out and talk to them. And along with that, continue to do what you love. So if you love drawing, I like drawing, then keep drawing even if you are tired. Make time for yourself to draw, and make sure you're taking care of, your passions instead of just sleeping all the time and staying up in your room. My second to last point is that you're changing when you come on this program and you don't even know it. And you may not notice it at all until someone points it out to you that you haven't seen in a while. Your German's definitely going to get better. You're going to learn a bunch of words that you didn't know. And you won't even know that you learned them until you look back on some things that you did earlier in the year or something and realize, wow, my German sucks in that. You're going to learn a lot more about yourself. You're going to learn about how you react to certain situations, even how you are as a person, really, I think. You're developing, some parts of your personality. You notice more about yourself because sometimes your personality is very limited when you can only speak German. So you really notice things about how you were in America and how your personality even changes when you speak German. And you notice a lot about yourself that you didn't really notice before. And you learn a lot from that, I think. You can decide which aspects of your personality that you didn't like before that now maybe you don't have, and you can, really decide to shape yourself in any way you really want to. Your outlook on the world may change. If that's about politics, or if that's about, just pessimism or optimism in general, your outlook on the world actually may is not a strong enough word. It probably will change. I noticed that myself with kind of my political standpoints. I'm still kind of in the same political standpoint I was before, but now more so of just my entire philosophy is just be kind to each other and let people, people are people and you should be kind to them, that's just it. And also, I've talked to a bunch of people about this, and they're Nazis are another thing. I think in the United States we're we talk about it, but we're not as set. I don't know how to describe it. We're not as. It's different when you live in the place where it happened than when you just hear about it. Like where I live specifically right now is I live like basically across the street from a concentration camp. I could walk there if I wanted to, which is like like it is unbelievable. Just like how that happened, and we know how we know that this happened, but it's just something about living here that's gonna make you really, really sensitive to that kinds of stuff, National Socialism and stuff like that. You're also gonna learn, again, that was my next point, was that you're gonna learn the stuff about that, as well as things like communism. I'm in East Germany right now, but things like communism, you really, really learn to actually hear it from the communist side, if you know what I mean. In America, there's a huge taboo against communism, and we learn about it like that. I'm not saying communism is good, but when you're actually here living in the place that used to be communist, and you're hearing people's stories about the secret police and, people being taken away and the bugs in the walls, and you're seeing the drab and dreary DDR buildings, it's something really, really intense about actually living here and seeing that kinds of stuff. Yeah, so it gets really, you're gonna change a lot, and you may not even know it until you go back or until you meet your friends at CBYX at mid-year. That I had a few people tell me that I changed a bit, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't notice. Along with that, my last point is that you're gonna be a lot more culturally aware, or you will become a lot more culturally aware through this experience. Mostly just like really looking at yourself, and again, this is kind of like my end point because it ties all my points together. You get into a lot of self-reflection, and like I think at least for me personally, it's been a huge like reflection on the United States as a whole. I've kind of become more critical of the US. Before I was pretty critical of the United States, but now when I'm standing outside of it and I'm looking from it from an outsider's perspective, you see things that maybe people on the inside will not see. And along with that, though, I think personally my love for the United States has grown a lot. I think that at least my personal situation is that I love the United States, and I'm critical of it because I want to see it do better. I want the best for my country, and the best sometimes I see is not there. You will definitely look at the United States differently. That's a whole thing. You'll hear so many different people's opinions on the United States, and you'll definitely become more critical, I think, of just what the United States does. Maybe you'll approve of it more, maybe you'll disapprove of it more. It's just, you will definitely look at it differently, and your entire outlook on the world around you, how things work, is going to be completely changed. And I guess I'll just add in a point here. This is kind of a random point, but your CBYX friends are like some of your best friends, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people would say that, not just my opinion. But the people you meet in CBYX are going to be like people you trust, and people you will lean on for a long time. Even if they're like completely across the country from you, like all my friends are from Minnesota, and I'm from Colorado, they're just like, you'll connect with them in a special way that maybe you've never connected with before. They're some special people, and you should really hold on to those friendships and treasure them a lot. Yeah, okay, that's it. I'm good. Alright, I think that's it. I have no more points. Okay. Thanks for watching my video. This is just a little bit of an update, I guess, kind of, in a way. More of just a helping video. But for people back home, I guess it's an update in a way. And I hope this helped you guys. And okay, I'll see you. Bye.